Alright guys, we're back with a bang of a video. Today's one's a little different. Today we're doing a comparison. We're going to be looking at some luxury sausages. First up we have from Marks and Spencer's collection 4 Heritage Gold Pork Sausages with fresh herbs and seasoning. Little blurb on the back that says 4 free-range British pork sausages with parsley and seasoning. We will be comparing those to 4 signature pork sausages from Tesco's Finest. It does say rich and succulent. The blurb on the back here says 4 seasoned pork sausages. They both look good, they both sound good. The M&S ones came in at £5.50 for the pack of 4. Tesco was £4. The weight as well, so these are 400 grams on the M&S side compared to 440 grams on the Tesco side. So with the Tesco one you're actually getting more sausage for less money, which is I guess is a good thing for them, right, in this comparison. Let's get a closer look at these quickly. As I mentioned, it's M&S collection for Heritage Gold Pork Sausages. They do look good. The packaging does look good. I'll give it that much. The sausages also look good. Traffic light system, we're looking at 293 calories per sausage. We have 2 reds, 1 amber, 1 green. Moving down to the Tesco, the packaging also looks premium for this one. Also has good looking sausages. As I mentioned, it's Tesco's Finest range. Traffic light system on these, we're looking at 286 calories per sausage. 2 reds, 1 amber, 1 green, very similar. Let me flip these over quickly. On the back we do get our cooking instructions. So for the M&S one, they give us instructions for pan frying, grilling, and doing them in the oven. Across here we get our ingredients. We're looking at 90% pork, 2% parsley, and it does say filled into natural pork casings. And then of course there's the full nutritional information for the folks that want it. And there's that 400 grams that I mentioned. Looking at the Tesco, they also give a bunch of cooking options. They give us grill, oven, and air fry instructions. Moving over to the ingredients, these ones are slightly less pork, 85%, but that's still a good percentage. 85% is still a good percentage. In terms of the casings, it just says filled into natural casings. No mention of the word pork in the casings. Then of course we have the full nutritional information there for the folks that want it, and they are 440 grams, as I mentioned already. I will admit I do prefer the Tesco packaging, to be honest. It's just got a more, so these just have a slide off sleeve, and there you go. These are in an actual box that has a tear thing on the side here. So the packaging for the Tesco sausages just feels a little more premium. On the inside they're both very similar. It's just a plastic tray with our sausages in. Let's get them out. So does this peel work? Come on. That worked. There's one of the M&S sausages. They do look good, don't they? You can see that, I guess they said it's parsley, right? You can see the seasoning through the casing. It does look like a good sausage. And then we have the Tesco's Finest. These, if I'm correct, should actually be link sausages. Yeah, they are linked together. There is one of them. you see less of the seasoning through the casing than what you do in the M&S ones, but it's still a very good looking sausage. Right, I'm going to bang these in the air fryer and then we'll do a little comparison. Right folks, this is the sausages fresh out the air fryer. We have the M&S ones on this side, the Tesco ones on this side. Let me give you a closer look at them quickly. They've browned up quite nicely. I'll give them that much. This is the M&S ones. You can still see the parsley through the casing, looking very, very good. Swing it across, you have the Tesco ones. They've browned up a little nicer, I think. Much of a muchness between them, but also a nice looking sausage we have there. Then I've made a butty out of each. Lots of butter, some brown sauce. And that was the Tesco one. This is the M&S one. You can see the texture of them is much coarser on the M&S one. Right. I'm keen to see what these taste like. Let's cut one open. We'll start with the M&S. Take a piece off this end here. Give you a look at the inside of it there. There it's in focus. You can see the seasoning inside there. Ooh, is a good looking sausage. Let's see what this hits like. That is nice and meaty. There's a saltiness in there. It's coming through quite nicely. Good pork flavor. Let me actually just finish this piece. Very nice, flavorful pork. Very well seasoned. Nice saltiness to it. Very nice saltiness to it, in fact. Quite enjoy that. Let's see what the Tesco offering is all about. Looking at the insides of this one, it's not as coarse. It's a bit denser. The texture is a bit finer. It's not as coarse as the M&S one. It still looks good, and you can't see as much seasoning in this one. It still looks good though. Delicious porky flavor to it. It doesn't have the saltiness that the M&S one had. It does have, the seasoning is not as strong, so the pork flavor stands out more than what it does on the M&S one. M&S one, it does have a beautiful pork flavor, but the seasoning does stand out a little more. One thing I will say about the Tesco ones have a nice bite to them. The snap on the sausage is a lot more satisfying. And it has a far more substantial, I guess that's to do with the texture. The denser packed texture of it makes it feel more substantial in the mouth. Oddly enough, it also, in its raw form and its cooked form, it did look like a more substantial sausage than the M&S one. And it still carries that still carries over to when you're eating it. Beautiful sausage. This is the sort of sausage I want on a breakfast plate. Some good flavors there. Some very, very good flavors there. Right, I just want to compare. See, I made a butty out of them each, the same, because we've tasted the sausages on their own. Now we want to see how they interact with other ingredients, and what better than the classic sausage butty. As I said, lots of butter, some brown sauce. Let's hit, this is the M&S one, let's hit it. With the other ingredients, it tones down the saltiness a bit. Beautiful fresh bread. That hits well. That hits very, very well. Let's try the same thing with the Tesco one. I will admit I prefer the flavor of the M&S butty to the Tesco butty. The extra flavor from the seasoning really kind of elevates the butty, I guess. It's a strange one. When it comes to the sausages themselves, I do prefer the flavor of the M&S one. I do prefer the texture of the Tesco one. When it comes to the butties, the texture doesn't make as big of a difference, but the extra seasoning flavor from the M&S one does shine through very nicely in butty form. Right. I have a trusty pen, well, technically it's a pencil. I have a trusty pencil and paper where I've written down some things to score. So let's go through these. Price. It was $5.50 for 400 grams versus £4 for 440 grams. So with Tesco, you're getting more sausage for less money. So we'll definitely give the point there to Tesco. Packaging, I really did like. Both were packaged well. I really did like the Tesco packaging. It just felt a little more premium. Had a proper box with that nice little ripstop thing. It just had a more premium feel to the packaging. So we'll give a point there to Tesco again. Ingredients. The ingredients listed on the box, very similar for both. Very, very similar for both. In terms of the seasonings in them. But we will give that point to M&S because they had the 90% pork content to the 85 of the Tesco. Then, kind of the look of them. It's a strange, I guess, look and feel. In their raw form, I did prefer the look of the M&S ones because you could nicely see the seasoning through the casing. The M&S ones at all points have looked like more substantial sausages, and the cooked variant does simply look better. It's, I don't know, they seem to have browned up nicer, and again it looks and feels like a more substantial sausage. So we'll go Tesco for a point there. Overall flavor, definite winner is the M&S one there. The seasoning does shine through more. It's got a nice saltiness to it. The seasoning in there is stronger. The flavor is more flavorful, coming through more prominently, I guess is the word I'm looking for. And it still shines through nicely when it's in its butty form mixed in with other ingredients. So overall flavor, we'll go with M&S. Texture, that's a different story. I found this to be quite granular, which is not a bad thing. It's just that like denser packed sausage from Tesco had a better bite to it. It had a nicer snap on the casing. So texture, we'll go Tesco. And then as a meal, rating it as instead of just the sausage as a meal, again, I did prefer the M&S. So we will go for a point with M&S there. The seasoning shone through much nicer in this final version as a butty than it did for the Tesco ones. So those are all the things we're rating. Let's add up the scores, right? M&S, 1, 2, 3 points. Tesco, 4 points. So Tesco takes it by a point. And yeah, I can't disagree with that. Both of these are certified bangers, right? On their own, they hold. The M&S one was a little more flavorful. When you take into account all those other things, the Tesco one just wins it by a point. I would happily get either of these again. But I would most likely end up getting the Tesco one again, because that's where I do the bulk of my shopping. But at this point, as usual, I'm just over talking it. Tesco wins our sausage comparison by 1 point. Let me know your thoughts in the comment. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Have you had any of these? Either of these? What do you think of them? With that said, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.